that pivotal moment where something is going to pop. For me, I think I want to say, I almost feel like we're being set up because they're pushing us so hard. They're pushing against our constitutionally given, God-given unalienable rights, our freedoms. The mask thing is bad, but they're coming for our guns. Look at the voting law they just passed. I mean, it's the stimulus bill. They're raiding the piggy bank. Gas prices are going exorbitantly high. They're letting tens of thousands of people across the border. It's a civ again. They don't care. Border Patrol's being told to get away from the border, let them come in. It's just one thing after another. We're being completely screwed over right now, right? We're completely getting screwed over by the policies that they're putting forth. So I think at some point this is going to get kinetic because, while we tried to peacefully demonstrate, protest during the Revolutionary War, the Tea Party, et cetera, eventually it went kinetic. But I think they're going to frame us, Scott. I think they're going to put a MAGA hat on somebody and they're going to do something stupid. Maybe it's go after Biden, maybe I don't know what, but they're going to do something, and they're going to do it the same fashion that they did January 6th at the Capitol that day. When the rest of us were outside peacefully protesting, they had those people come in with the MAGA hats on that were not MAGA. They were Antifa. We saw them get off the bus over there by Stage 7. I was there, saw it happen. I saw them march like military right to the Capitol and breach the Capitol while President Trump was still speaking it down at the ellipse. I was watching him on the big screen just off to the north of the Capitol on the other side of the Russell Building, the Senate building. So this is I think that's what they're going to do, because false flags are what they're known for. They create them so they have a reason to round us up again and try and hurt us. And I don't think this time MAGA is going to respond too kindly. If something like that happens, I think that's going to be all it takes for the tinderbox to go up into a house fire. Just my thoughts. What do you think?
If it does, it's going to be an unbelievable ass beating, because the only thing that they've had against us is that perception that they have power.
Yeah, the media, that's it.
They have the media, but they also think their power is only perception. And I've said this for over a year in a tipping point. I'm going to say it as I say in a tipping point. We outnumber these bastards by the billions. Billions.
That's right.
Billions. All we do is collectively stand up. The fraction of these worms is so small when we just stand up and say, it's not happening. Look, I said, if you look at how these things happen, when Ceausescu went down, you see that scene at the gates, nobody's saying anything. Finally, 100,000 people meet at the gates of the palace against this tyrant. And it was a friend of mine described it. He's from Romania. He said, somebody just yelled out of the crowd. They yelled out. And as soon as somebody yelled out and said something, everybody looked around like, oh my God, who was that's going to get killed now? Their family's going to disappear. Because that's what happens there. After about 5 or 10 seconds, guess what? Somebody else did. Somebody else did that. And then a few seconds later, and then it kept coming. And it's like when you get into a riot situation, that energy field explodes. Even if you're a good person, you wouldn't pick up a trash can and throw it. It's like being at a football game. You get caught up in that energy field. And that's what happened there.
That's what happened on the election, right? We were caught up in that energy field. We were, here in Florida, boat parades, motorcycle parades, truck parades, car parade. We had parade after parade for President Trump. And it's the energy field that just sucks all these people. Say, I want to go to the light. That's good stuff, right? I want to take my country back. These people are going to go get the bad guys. We want to be part of that. But I think it's going to get set off from the left with some fake false flag event, making us look like we're doing something diabolical. That's how I think this is going to get kicked off. We'll see.
Unfortunately, hopefully it doesn't happen that way.
I hope it doesn't. I pray to God it doesn't, because it would be a horrific thing for this country to have to go through that. We're already in a civil war. It's like a civil/revolutionary war. We're in it right now. They're trying to color it as a civil. Really what it is a revolutionary war. We're trying to take back our country.
Yeah. I think it's actually a world war. These people have been at it.
It's a world war. You're right. It is. Right? I'm just putting it here. I'm staying in the bubble of the United States. But you're right. This goes around the world because I'm getting tons of emails and phone calls from people all over the world. I get calls from China, Australia, New Zealand, UK all the time. What is going on over there, mate? You got to save your country. We depend on you because you guys always come bail us out. We need you to bail us out. We're in trouble over here. We're lost. They are lost. The UK is done as far as they can tell. You talk to Katie Hopkins, it's the saddest thing that's happened in that country.
Yeah. So, and it's again, that trigger point happens. People stand up and fight. And I'm telling you, this is what I've been trying to get people to understand, just to start creating resistance, because once it happens, the people that are inside the structure that are going, there's a lot of good people in this structure in government, didn't know what they were getting into, but they're in there. It's like a military coup. If there was one they go talking to the people on the inside, and nobody's going to do that against a tyrant. But if it looks like there's enough movement, especially in the citizen population, they'll say, you know what, these people want freedom and we have a chance to go after this tyrant. And what happens? Boom, that guy doesn't even fight him. He gets on a helicopter, gets his ass out of the country, gets in exile. That's what they do throughout all of history. It's the same thing here. If enough people stand up and say, and again, we don't want to get kinetic. If they want kinetic, they're going to be begging for it to stop. Because I said before, the Patriots decide, okay, you've done enough at showtime. These guys out here in the real world America, they have no rules of engagement. There are no criminal courts that are going to keep these people from doing the ultimate, and that's finishing the job right to the very end, and then it's over. The last thing these guys want to have happen is 30 million patriots, and many who are writing you and I saying, we're ready. If we got to go, we're ready to go. We don't want that to happen.
Right.
At all. The other side sure as hell doesn't want it to happen, because if it happens, there's no way out. These guys won't stop until it's done, and they'll make sure it's done. And I said, any of these people that they have in this country that are, using Chinese or whatever, you're not going home. Just understand, if you're Chinese and you're part of the CCP that's infiltrated here, just understand you have a chance. But it starts, you're not going home. You're never going to see your family, because you take on an American patriot when his home's behind him and his kids and family are behind him. You think they're ruthless on battlefields around the world. Wait till you're standing on their own territory.
That's right.
There will be no rules of engagement. That's why I'm still confident, no matter what, they will not win. We just want to make sure that it doesn't become something that I don't want to say cataclysmic, but it certainly can't be good for this country on any level. And this is where I think they have the plan dialed in. They have said a couple times, the military back channel, not until they can guarantee the safety of the American people.
Right.
Not until they can guarantee the safety of the American people. Because they could have already done things where they set off these dirty bombs and all these other things that they were basically playing defense on. All I know is I'm confident, for whatever reason. It might just be this intrinsic feeling, but these guys know what they're doing. I just believe they know what they're doing.
Yeah, despite all the headlines with, Biden signing deals with Ukraine again, the money going over there, signing deals, trying to get Iran spun back up, all of the stuff he's trying to do to create those wars, going into Syria, all the stuff that he's doing, he's trying to feed the military industrial complex, get his buddies back their money. Of course, Warren Buffett scored big when they shut down the Keystone Pipeline. So all the people, the slush funds, that machines are cranking again right now. So they can, of course, rape the taxpayers and send all that money into their pet projects, which, again, pad their coffers. They're sitting on it. God only knows how many billions, if not more than that, in Bitcoin offshore. This is where they're putting their money. I asked Mel K last night, I said, Elon Musk made a big investment a few weeks ago in Bitcoin, went from $30,000 to $57,000 or $58,000 a coin. I said, do you think he's part of the cabal? And she said, well, he used to be, but I think he's come over now, and, he's using his stuff for good. I said, great. I hope so, because the guy's a genius, and, he stands to capitalize on some of these policies, right? With Joe Biden's energy destruction initiatives. Tesla stands to be a great stock. It's profiting right now off Keystone getting shut down. So, and you're seeing other car companies that are spinoffs from Tesla popping up, doing very, very well. So there is, there's a push-pull going on, and those that know how to invest wisely can take advantage. Like some people made a fortune during the COVID crash last year because they knew how to play the market going down. They knew how to buy puts and sell puts and do derivative tradings on the way down and then make it on the way back up when things looked like they were turning around. So, either you're in the know and you're one of the few people that can do that and you're still a patriot, or you're just an everyday American that's trying to sock money in your 401k, which, by the way, I don't know, many people don't know this, but do you know that the federal government can basically take your 401k if they need to and they use it to pay down debt?
They did that in Cyprus. They actually floated that whole idea to the UN, and the UN approved it. And that was back, it might have been 2012 or 13, where, and this is a test run, if they could get away with it. So what they did, they seized the money and the assets of every private account holder in Cyprus, took all of their money under terms of saving the country from an economic implosion.
Can you imagine? So wait, you took my money, you saved the country from an economic implosion, but what about me? Now you have a country full of people that have no money. So isn't that still an economic implosion? Hello? What part of this do they not understand, except, if they're saying, don't worry, we're going to wipe out your debt. on the surface, boy, I have no credit card debt. I don't have a house payment, a car. That's awesome. But guess what? You don't own any of it either now. Now you're wards of the state. You've now become a ward of the state or your country. So people just don't think past the domino effect of what they're actually being told. They go, oh, great, debt free. Not so much.
Well, here's the thing. That wasn't even private debt they were wiping out.
I
That
know.
was the government debt that they were beholden to whoever else. That was outright theft. They left these people holding the bag on their current debt.
I know.
They owe people's money to pay off their debts or just money out.
Don't be shocked when the government tries to pull that same stunt here. I mean, I have nobody telling me this, but this is just reading the tea leaves and looking at what they're doing. It's pretty